Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. I hope everyone is well. I was running a little bit behind, so I just had to pick my daughter up from school a little bit early today. So I had to run. So let me just mark some of this up. Hold on a minute. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Okay, so it is the 30th of March. Man, aren't the days going quick, aren't they? Have a look. Okay, let's put that there. We've had a break and a new high anyway, so almost starts off like yesterday, really, didn't it? So, DT, how you doing, my friend? Excuse me, just 1 second. There we go. All good. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you what. I might get a knock on the door. Just hold on 1 second. Postman's arrived. No, all good. Okay, so what do I usually say? Stuck for words. That's unlike me, isn't it? Okay. News. Let's have a look. News has all happened. Where are we now? Let's just check. Double check. 1:30 UK time. 1:30. Something tonight, but I'm not concerned about that. Unemployment claims, final GDP, and that's already happened at 1:30, which is around about here. Nothing really happened there, I don't think. So, okay, so we've had a break of this, and we've had 2 pushes up to a new high. So, that's how we sort of started up yesterday, more or less. A little bit steep, but we had a push up, then a correction, and then another push up. So let's see how we got on. So I've just marked that this morning, which is, let me just check that's correct. That is it's just, I think, isn't it? Yeah, yesterday's lows. So that's yesterday's lows. This is the market open. Yesterday's highs. We're way past that. So yeah, so all good. Right, who we got in there? DT, how you doing? Speedy, how you doing? DJ, how are you? Lead loser. So let's have a look. Okay, so it wasn't a bad day yesterday. It was a pretty okay day. A little bit smoother. It seems to be running a bit. I mean, we don't get a lot of this nowadays, do we? These nice smooth channels. Everything seems to be so messy nowadays. I don't think there was anything in there really. But a little bit sideways. Not really. So nothing really in that, but it is just nice to see something a bit smoother. I mean, you may have marked that like that as a smaller short-term trend channel, which it sort of was, doesn't it? But that's by the by now. I was going to tell you guys something, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, short-term trend channel break. No, anyway, and then we carried on going. So I just, hey Angela, how are you? Hope everyone's well. Hey Wood, how you doing? It's a bit miserable here in the UK at the moment. It's hammering down outside. It's been like that most of the morning, so it's pretty bleak. It's 14 degrees out, so it's slowly starting to warm up. So, hopefully, I shall have be in shorts and t-shirts with my rippling biceps before you know it. So, we shall see. Might have slightly exaggerated there. Excellent, thanks. On track, another positive day. Absolutely. Hopefully for all of us. I was going to tell you guys. Let me just grab my phone. I'll mention it now, and I'll mention it again in a bit because obviously it's useful to hear things like this. Now there was a guy yesterday on one of the Apex sites saying he'd blown his X amount of PA accounts, and another guy called I have news for you. Even Daryl Martin, did he say blown about 9 or 10 or something like that? And he said, Melvin, dude, I've got news for you. Daryl Martin blew way more than that when we were trading on Lilu, long before Apex Trader. So it just goes to show, even successful traders like Daryl Martin. Now, he was doing a talk about something. I can't remember what it was, and he just shown his profits for the day, and I think he just made $15,000 that particular day. So if someone like Daryl Martin can throw away multiple PA accounts because he has to go through the same thing, it just goes to show that, you know, it happens to everyone. There's no magic bullet, and it doesn't matter who you are or how successful you are. Market has just officially out, by the way. It doesn't matter who you are. We all go through the same thing. So just keep that in mind. So when you are struggling, just remember, even Daryl Martin blows accounts. I'm not sure about that. Let's have a look. Have I missed? SW Blaze, how you doing? Chicago. Welcome to you. Salvatore. Is he a good trader though? I believe he is. Yeah, I believe he is. I think he traded on Lilu and had multiple accounts, but he wanted more accounts, and I think Lilu restricted him because I think he made quite a lot of money. So I think that was the story I heard from a couple of people anyway. So, but yeah, I believe he is. FZ morning from Alberta. Wow. Alberta. I'm assuming it's cold there, is it? You would think so. Alberta's Canada, isn't it? I know it's a bit shameful of my geography, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Is that going to go? I prefer that touch in the top, really, but let's have a look. Let's just put that back like that, I think. Just don't like that. In fact, we don't really need to count that, do we? I can go from here, can't I? Okay, let's leave that there for now. I'm not massively convinced, to be honest with you. There is a higher low there, but there's not much higher. I don't like this. It's bouncing. It's going up, but it's bouncing off the top here. So I'm just going to get rid of that for now. And I'm just going to leave that. It's definitely bouncing off the bottom, but it's on the top as well. So I think that's likely to push out the top. Personally. Just check. Yeah. Everything's where it should be. Yeah. Two contracts. I haven't missed anything, have I? Let's just check. I haven't got the copier open. No. All good. Okay. 2C. Two contracts. Is that what you're saying? Two contracts, I think. So yeah, welcome everybody. It's market's been open officially, just coming up 4 minutes. So hopefully, it definitely seems to be moving a lot smoother than the last couple of days. Well, I say the last couple of days. The last sort of few weeks, it just seems to have days of clarity, and then you get other days where it bounces all over the shop. Okay. Yeah, it's going a little bit sort of up the sideways. It's almost like a bit of a wedge. Oh, not that. That's what I don't want. Anyway, that's what I'm looking for. 2 degrees. Oh, 2 degrees. I got you. 2C. Sorry. 2 degrees centigrade. Yeah, that's pretty choppy, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely cooler than us. I'll give you that. You're talking about contracts for a minute. I just thought, is he talking about 2 contracts? Yeah, 2 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty chilly, isn't it? What is it? It's 14 here, actually. It's quite mild today. But it's just miserable. I'd rather have a cold day and blue skies rather than just a wet day and a mild day. A wet and mild day. So, I mean, it's clearly slowly going up at a different angle, but I just don't like the way it's sort of coming into that wedge, isn't it? Now we've got to push up from this. This is, I'd say, just from the pattern, we may have a little bit of a break and then a push above this. But I don't know whether we're at the start of a range or what. But I'd say we're probably going to have a little bit of a drop out the bottom, followed by maybe something up. Who knows? I'm just going from I do swing trade a little bit of crypto, so I do watch patterns and stuff like that, and I do watch a lot of these gurus that, you know these patterns inside and out, but that's my thoughts anyway. So yeah, aren't the months clocking fast? I think it's the last day tomorrow, isn't it, of March? I think so. 31 days, isn't it? Yeah, there is. Wow, isn't it going quick? April already. We'll be in the middle of the year before long, and then thinking about Christmas again. Wow. Isn't it going quick? This is going to be my year, I think. I have a feeling. Yeah, this is definitely going to be my Christmas. Okay, where did the market open? Let's have a look. There. Bang on. So, let's, it would have been right there. There. What about this? Okay. Yeah, as I thought, push up. Slightly less angle. Bit of a wedge drop, and I think a push up higher. Personally, I'm just wondering if there's going to be, if this triggers, whether there's going to be some, trying to go once, trying to tires, shorts. Let's see what happens. I think this is going to push up and break above this personally. Because these wedges that go up like that tend to, sometimes they'll push up or sometimes they'll drop at the bottom, push up. But if you look at this, trying to go once, trying to go twice, failed, and that's ticked below. I personally think that's going to push up and break above here and then make a new high, but you shall see. Get rid of that now. So there is likely going to be some shorts trapped there. So we've had a break out of this, whether you call it, I mean, for me, it's a bit of a wedge. But it's like a bit of an uptrend, so I think you'd likely expect that to operate the same way of breaking a new high anyway. But for me, this is a wedge, but we shall see. Let's see who gets trapped here. It'll either be the longs get trapped or it'll be the shorts if we break above here. Your bias is bullish too. Yeah, it is at the moment because we've had, let's see what happens here actually. I wonder if it will tick that below because that has triggered really. So that is a higher low. Ooh, interesting. So we've got a failure there, which is triggered. We've also got quite a sort of a bearish looking bar there. So if it pushes up and hits this, I figure we're going to have a new high because it's going to take out some of the shorts of the failure. But also, as we've had a break, ooh, there might be some longs in there which are going to get trapped. Oh, okay, so but it is a little bit congested there, isn't it? So it's not the ideal place to do anything really. I still feel we're going to push up, especially after this. So we got a, count that as a recount. So we got to try go once, try go twice, possible failure or possible second entry. No, forget me, just ignore me. I clearly don't know what I'm on about this morning. I'd say there's after this lot and that, there's probably going to be some shorts there. I'd say there's likely going to be some shorts there, and I think there's also likely going to be some shorts. So if we do push up, there's three areas which I think there's possibly going to have some shorts in. Just after this wedge, I expect to break and retest these new highs, but it's certainly not coming down in a hurry, is it? So I'm still thinking my bias is up at the moment. Yeah. There we go. So that's eating up them stops. I think it's going to have another grind and push higher. These kind of wedge patterns often break out and then push up. Unfortunately, there's no higher low or anything, is there? No other way up. But there's almost definitely, that's a hidden second entry short there. We've already made a new high. We made this high, made slightly higher. We've tried again. We've tried a few times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times to get higher. There's almost now a range. So look. So yeah, there's this sort of wedge in a range. I'm definitely thinking higher than this. Although I'm thinking higher, I'm certainly not thinking about taking a long here really, because it is still right in the middle of this range. And the trouble is, when it does go sideways, I still think it's going to go higher, but it could still come down another time or two before it does. So I'm not confident enough that that's a good place to go long. Who have I missed? Anybody? Harjit, how you doing? Waiting for a test of the 4045. 4045 down here. I think you might have to wait a while. I think we're going to retest these highs personally. There we go. There's certainly a few places. After this little wedge, I saw I mentioned it, a break followed by retesting these highs. So there is a lower high there which has been triggered. So let's see what's going to happen here. Hey Tech, how you doing? How are you doing? Definitely likely some traps around here, that's for certain. There was a trap there which triggered. I don't know whether anybody will have taken that one, which trap, if they did taken that one, thinking one leg, two leg, triggered and trapped. Some may have taken this as a lower high. That's triggered. Maybe this is going to come up and trapped. Someone's going to win. Possible second entry long. It's just looking a bit tight. The trouble is when it goes sideways, it really could go anywhere, really. I know what I think, and I think what's likely to happen, but that's the trouble when it goes sideways. It's in, people are undecided. I mean, I still personally think we're going to make a new high, just the way this formed. We've had this break out of it, but what do I know? So, new high, try go once, try go twice, failure. So let's see if where this finishes and see if it triggers out the bottom and triggers it. So, yeah, so there could be another trap there, see? So it looks like it's coming down, and it often does sometimes, which that's what sometimes gets these people into these positions. So that's triggered, so you just don't know whether that's going to come up and take them out, or a bunch of these, or where it's going to, take out any possible longs. Because it is looking like it's dipping, but, I've often found that sometimes can lead you into a bit of a false sense of security. That's why I tend to, if I'm uncertain, which I am at the moment, I tend to just leave alone. I mean, even if it's a good trade long, sometimes it can trigger, take you out, and then eventually go in the market not moving really. No. Let's tidy the top of it. Yeah, I've been caught out so many times in these because, we've had this break and a new high. Yeah, so you're thinking, okay, we came down a little bit lower and a little bit lower and a little bit lower and a little bit lower, and people are thinking, oh, it's going short, it's going short. Let's jump in here, or let's jump in here, or let's jump in here. And then all of a sudden, it just whacks straight for everyone's stops. So I tend to, I mean, I know what my thoughts are. My thoughts that because of this wedge, we're going to break higher and retest all these and eat some of the stops up. But I'm not confident enough to, put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. And I just stay out of them now and let someone else have the headache. But after we've had this break, 2 pushes up, I've got no doubts there's going to be some short orders there. And then if you look at that, we've had a little up there and up there again. There may be some shorts there. For the failure, it's also a hidden second entry short, so I'd say there's definitely going to be some shorts in there. And obviously at the top, it's been up a few times. This channel's played out. So you just don't know. It might shoot up and take them out, or they might be right and everyone else might be wrong. 4085. 4085. What is that? Oh, here. Yeah. I think once we get so far up, if we tick above there, that'll give it the momentum then to take out the guys at the top of the tree. Looks like 1 leg, 2 legs. Nice short-term trend channel. I definitely think we're going to get higher now. Certainly break these highs, that's for certain. Once we get above here, then I've got no doubt we're going to make a new high. Short-term trend channel. good thing about taking these sometimes, if you have a break and it comes back down to here, if you come in here, say, I've done this before, and I heard the Gorilla guy mention that. Let's say you took a trade off the bottom and it started going up into this short-term trend channel. At least you know that it's likely to have a break and then make a new high. So it does give you a bit of a target where it's likely to come out if you did want to swing that. You know what I mean? So if you'd have taken, let's say, that would have been really sort of bullish. It wasn't that bad actually, and you'd have had this one, that one, that one. You're thinking, well, okay, so we've pushed above the EMA, may come down and retest it, and we're possibly going to make a new high. So it just helps your decision making on where you might want to hold to come out. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be doing that in this lot because it's sideways. But you know, generally, if you were coming up here and you had a short-term trend channel, you pretty much know that it's going to, as soon as it breaks, it's likely to make a new high. It won't necessarily just turn down there. I heard that the Gorilla guy, and it made perfect sense to me. Yeah, I hate trading in these areas, especially when it's going that slow, because a lot of the times when you're in a trade, it just violently moves, doesn't it? It did it to me the other week. I was on a PA account, I think, and I was trying to go long, and it just I can't remember what I was doing, but it shot down or shot up, and I'd had about a 3-point stop, and it turned into 5.5 points. I lost in the end, and it's bloody frustrating. So when it does go slow like that, it makes me a bit nervous. It did it yesterday, but it didn't break that dramatically. But you know, when you see these things sometimes, and it makes you wary about getting involved. So I'm quite happy just to sit and watch. But it did this yesterday, didn't it? It had quite a lot of the day was really slow. It was a bit monotonous, wasn't it? Did have a guy message me last night, Facebook Messenger. So I won't tell you his name. You know, he sent it in confidence. He'd blown his account, and he was just finding it frustrating. And I know what it feels like. So, whether you guys, you know, want to chat about something or whatever, something's bothering you, or you're a bit frustrated, and you know, I'm quite happy to, if you message me on Facebook, I'm always up for a chat. You know me, but you know, if you're ever a bit frustrated and you know, you want to talk to someone else who's been in the same position, then you know, I'm quite happy if you want to drop me a message. I've got no problem with that. I know what it feels like. Trading is patience. Man, give a short. It certainly is, mate. It certainly is. Some days things just work quick and work well. I mean, if you look at that, all pre-market. Then our shift, didn't it? We had this, and then as you know, as soon as the markets, it's just gone sideways. I mean, there's no news due, but obviously, are we going up? Are we having a correction? We're going up again, or you know, are the longs fighting to push it higher, or the shorts going no? We're not having none of it, so it's doing that, and it's only doing it over about 5 points, isn't it? Probably not even that from top to bottom. So it's so hard to trade. So we've got touch, yeah. See, I took a triple test yesterday, and it worked out nice. It looked nice to me, but it's just when they go like that, I prefer them to break through and then sit on top like that. I haven't got the nerve to take them like that. I've had them stop me out and then turn up again. So yeah. Yesterday's first hour was the same. Yeah, it was a bit later. Well, strange enough, I had my dentist appointment, so I didn't trade the first hour. But when I got back in the afternoon, it was because I obviously traded till about 6:45 UK time last night because I still wanted to get me 3 hours in. But it did just go really sedentary, didn't it? In the afternoon, it was really boring to trade, I got to say. But that's part and parcel of it, really, isn't it? Sometimes you get days like that. Yeah, so I haven't got the nerve to take stuff like that. If I'm going to take triple tests, it's bars that look similar to that, a little bit bullish, but that just sit like that right on there. Because I've never had much luck picking tops and bottoms. Probably because I don't do it enough. I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, don't we? And if things, we've had bad luck with, sometimes we stay away from them. And then you don't learn about. Let's see if this is what we're going to push up finally. If we can get above here, then I've got no doubt we're going to break this high. Yeah, that was a nice push up as well. I thought that was for sure going to push up nicely, but it didn't. It dropped straight down and bounced again. But this looks like it's trying to push a bit more. Once we get above this top and break that high, then I'd say there's almost definitely, because we've had this break, haven't we? We've had two pushes up to a new high. We've come down. That's actually a failure, that is. But one leg down, this just might be another try to get higher. But if we can get a tick above this, then I'd say then we're likely to break a new high. Who knows? This just might be a correction. We may push off in that direction again. I got no idea. But I can see they're trying to push to the top of there. Okay, see if we can get up any higher now. It got to about there last time and then just dropped. Hey Nick, how you doing? I thought you'd have been on here hours ago. Oh, the new, I don't know if anybody knows by now. I get an email, so I don't know if anybody does. They've dropped down to 50%, but they've also got half price resets. So if the 80%'s gone, it's the similar prices actually. I think it's $33 for the 80% off and $40 for the reset. So they've got that offer on, and they've said it's on till I think it's the 3rd. Now we've got Easter coming up, so I've got no doubt we're going to have a big discount. So as much as I like getting the money from your affiliate links, if I was you personally, I would hold on. By all means, if you've just blown an account and you want to reset it, but let me just get the message. They've put move. I'd say they're almost definitely going to have something for Easter. In fact, I think, wasn't it Easter last year that they had the first big discount, which was 80% off? And ever since, they've just kept having them and having them. Half price resets until the 3rd. So for 4 days, 5 days including today, I suppose. Now, they wouldn't do it for 4 or 5 days if they weren't going to have some offer on, in my opinion. So hopefully it'd be nice if they can maybe offer 90%. I don't care what they do, 80 or 90. It's a good deal in my opinion, but I'm pretty sure they had the same last year. I think it was 80% off, 80%, and I think it was the first, because I remember a mate of mine, Marlon, messaged me and said they're having 80% off, and I went, "You're mad, mate! They'll never do that." And then, sure enough, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that's really grinding up here, isn't it? I'm pretty confident we're going to move up here. There we go. Yeah, so there was definitely some shorts there, the way that whacked straight above it. And let's see if we can... so we've had this break. We've had 2 clear pushes up. So there's probably some shorts there, but this is a failure or a lower. Maybe this is the start of a second leg down. So there's definitely some shorts there, and the way that whacked up violently. There was probably more in there, but I think, yeah, and some more there, see. So as much as I pretty much know, what the market's going to do, it's just not a great entry, really, is there? There just wasn't a good entry. That was the only maybe one you may have taken, but it's just, I don't like the way it's sat on top of there. I prefer it to stay down, but I'm just wondering now whether it may work up here now. Who knows? But I was pretty sure that was going to do that, and I think that was the slightly more violent one. And then there's probably less riskier trades taken, more riskier trading there, and there were probably more trades taken there. But unfortunately, if you took that, I mean, I mentioned all along I thought we were going higher, but if you'd have took that, it could have triggered, come down, took you out, bounced off here, and rocketed up. So unfortunately, there's just no real areas to trade there. You may have took that second entry long. It was a small risk, but it was a little bit too. What was it? It was only a point and a quarter actually, but it was just. And obviously this came down a tick above it, so you'd still have been safe there if you rode that up. But apart from that, the other places it's been down was here. There was nothing really here. If you took that one, you got shafted. So let's see what happens now, whether we're going to come down or whether we're going to bounce, push a bit higher. I'm voting for a bit higher personally. That's why I don't like getting involved in those so much. I pretty much know what's going to happen, but you see how quick it goes. If you'd have had a 2-point stop, say here, and that shot through, just because you've got a 2-point stop doesn't mean you're only going to get stopped out for 2 points. So many times, I traded in the news once maybe a year and a half ago. And I had a 2-point stop, and I think it took me out for about 5.5 points, I think. I couldn't believe it moved that quick. So I'm always a bit wary when although I pretty much know where it's going, when it moves really slowly, because it'll go slow, 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 and then wham. And then if it happens to go through your stop, it's painful. So, is it going to come down and bounce off this open and then push higher? Who knows? At this point, I don't know what it's going to do. Could come down now, or it could have another leg. Who knows? Excuse me just a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Now what's going on? That was quick. Did you wash your hands? Yes, I did, mate. I'm just upstairs at a spare room. It's just next door. I've got to say, when I first started trading, I hated leaving the screens. I was even thinking about keeping one of those bottles that you get in hospitals with you, so you can just unscrew the lid, pee in it quickly, and you don't have to move off your seat. Yeah, I had a quick rinse, mate. I'm pretty good aim anyway. I'm pretty sure I didn't get anything on my hands. Right. So what's going on here then, guys? Are we ended up having a... I wonder if we're going to turn into a bigger range. I wonder. Let's did something move there? There's definitely some a bit of congestion around here somewhere, isn't there? So, the bottle OP. No, I'm a good aim. I dangle pretty low anyway, so I'm pretty close. So there's not much of a distance between me and the loo. If that's not being too crude, I apologise. If you happen to hear that, Angela, I apologise. It's us men being crude. This is what we do, I'm afraid. We're childish. It's a fact. I'll admit it. Okay. Some trend channel break, new low. I'd say we're probably likely going to bounce here. Now, whether we bounce up and come back down or whether we bounce and come up, I can't tell you, but it's definitely an area where it has sat on there and there. So I'd say, as we've had the break there, I think it's likely we're going to take a bit of a bounce off here. Thought something didn't look right. Usually make that green, don't I? Oh no. I'll make that green. Sorry. Load. That's better. There we go. Okay. Unlock. There we go. Nope. Okay, short-term trend channel break, new low. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on here now. Maybe we're going to go sideways, maybe we're going to come down. Maybe we're going to bounce and push off. No idea. Not a clue. Be interested to see what offer they have at Easter. I'm pretty sure last Easter was the first 80% I'd ever seen. Because my mate messaged me and said they were having 80% off, and I called him mad. So, and ever since they've had great offers. I didn't think they could top it, but they did with a 90%. I thought they're going to be giving them away free before long. But no, 90% off. Just goes to show how much money they make, doesn't it? So yeah, I mentioned this earlier. I'll mention it again, just in case some weren't listening. But if you blow in PA accounts, or you're struggling, and you're a bit frustrated, I saw this on one of the Apex Facebook groups yesterday. A guy had put, I think he'd blown a dozen PA accounts, and this guy said, I've got news for you. Daryl Martin blew way more than that when we were trading Lilu together, long before Apex funding. He even admitted it. I've been Apex for many years and blah, 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 blah. It hurts a lot less with blowing PA accounts versus funded accounts. So yeah, but yeah, it just goes to show even people like Darren Martin has blown many in his time, and we all know he's a good trader. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, even these traders that sort of get employed by these big sort of investment firms, hedge funds, that sort of thing that trade, they still go through the same thing, because I remember reading what's its book, Mark Douglas's book. Michael Douglas is the actor, isn't he? Mark Douglas's book, and I listened to some of his videos, and he says he used to go around to some of these big investment firms and work with their traders. So it just, you know, we're making mistakes that human beings have sort of evolved with. So it just goes to show that even some of the best traders in the world went through exactly the same process that we are. So if you are struggling, you have blown some accounts, don't beat yourself up. Get your wife to do it. I got my wife sitting with me for a while, actually, to see if it would help, but it didn't work. I was revenge trading in front of her eyes, and she didn't have a clue what I was doing. So yeah, don't beat yourself up about it. The best in the business have been where we are now. So what are we doing here? It's going really slow again, isn't it? Yeah, so we could just be in a range day, couldn't we? Or sometimes we'll push up, go sideways for a bit, and then push down or push up again. I got no idea. I was just going to draw, actually, and measure the leg there, but I didn't think it would do that. Maybe we are going to come down a bit then. Break new high. 2 legs down. Possible second entry long. You wouldn't really want to go long there. It's in the middle of nowhere. Well, there is a lot of congestion there, so it may have a few bars side by side there. But I would say I don't know, I haven't got a clue. Maybe it'll break out and push back in. I got no idea at the moment. Not a clue. Lance, did you mention that someone has a 90% off sale? No. Yes and no. No, I was just talking about they did have a 90% off sale. Well, I think they've had a couple of them, actually. And I notice as an affiliate, I get an email usually the day before they have any type of sales or offered. And I had an email last night saying that they were going on to 50% off for resets from today. From today until, was it the 3rd, or I think it was the 3rd of April, which is, I think, the Easter weekend. So I'd say, as they're only doing this offer for 4 or 5 days, I'd say they've probably got something in store for Easter. I can't see them doing nothing. So whether they'll do 80% off as standard or 90, as they've just done the 80% off for the last month, and they've flicked over quickly to 50% off resets, I wouldn't be shocked if they had a 90% off. But that's just a pure guess, mate. I don't know. I don't know any more than you. But I'd say we'd probably be in for something nice, I think, anyway. Yeah, I thought you might get a few sideways there because there is some congestion there. So are we going to retest this and come down to here, or is this going to be a breakout? I wouldn't want to go long there anyway. You could say this is a breakout, but it's only really, since we've broken out of this, bounced off it once, so I don't think this is as good enough to call the bottom of a range. Obviously, this is where it touches the most. I just put this out just out of interest to see where this would come down to. But I would say, from what I'm seeing there, it's probably likely going to come down. It may retest this area here. Let me just remove some of this. That's a bit better. Okay, let's straighten this up. Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It's sort of one, isn't it? In fact, it might be just a bit of a spike in a channel. You don't often get spike in channels, I don't think. Small, do you? I'm not sure, actually. Can you get a spike in channel with such a small channel? I'm not so sure. In fact, it might be here or something, mightn't it? Okay, that's not too bad. It's not the. I think it's a channel. It's not the best looking channel, is it? I've gone from here, so I don't know whether. I don't know. Let's put it like that. Just the way it's going sideways, it may touch here, but I think it's likely to make a couple of legs there. But as I mentioned, I thought it was going to go a little bit sideways because of this. Yeah, so heads up. But as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. Any of you guys use, is it Bullish? I see their name splattered around a little bit. I did have a brief look, just what they offered a few months ago, and it wasn't close to Apex, so I don't know. I've not come across anybody close to Apex. I tried Into Trade was, I think, the first one I tried. I probably did about 3 with them. And then I probably did maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 with Into Trade. UProfit. But another trader buddy of mine mentioned about Apex, and no one's been able to touch him. I'm surprised no one's come close, but they just don't. You would think you'd have to be at least competitive, otherwise you just wouldn't be able to pick up customers, but I don't know. A little bit of sideways. I think it'll retest this or touch the EMA or close to it and then push down some more, personally. It's not even a setup really either, is there? Just seeing if there's any type of because I quite like going short from there. I prefer that to push up and sit right under there, and right under the EMA. And I'd say, personally, it's an area where to go. Unfortunately, there's no proper setup, so the trouble is, you know, the old visual second entry, but that's it's a bit of a grey area there, isn't it? You could go, okay, we've gone up once, we've gone up twice. You know what I mean? We've actually pushed down. We've gone once, twice, 3 times. Yeah, that visual second entry, it's a little bit of a grey area, isn't it? I think people put a visual, if you push down a bit, put a visual second entry when they see something that looks nice, but there's no real setup, so they'll say, "Oh, let's call it a visual second entry." It looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, this is a push down here, and it's a break, isn't it? It's just I prefer that to go up a bit higher. So I wouldn't take this short, but I have done in the past, and it'll tick below it, trigger me, push up, take me out, and then come down with a beautiful bearish bar. So hopefully this may be a second entry short. And we see this all the time, don't we? Push down, go sideways, pop up to the EMA, and then wham. So if we can get the next bar, which I think, then I'll go short there. Where will I go short to? Well, if it does break below here, it'll push below this. So I'd say the next resistance area is here. So, okay, let's get an order ready.
Order submitted.
Trade without fear. I prefer it to tick above it though. What's the ATR like? ATR is low as well, so not much profit. Push up one, push up. There we go. Now come down. Come down quick. Now if that breaks bearish, I'll take that. Come on. Be generous. Ooh, that's risky. Depends how risk averse you are. Now on some, that actually wick is slightly below. So on some,
Order cancelled.
There? I may take that. Let's have a look. What's the risk on it? It's a 0.75. Let's see if this one does it. This one might be a better option if it comes down.
Order submitted.
Still a possible second entry short if it finishes bearish. I'm not sure whether it's going to there. Come on. If it does come down, I think it'll come down quick. No, it's not. I'm not having none of it, is it? Okay, so...
Order cancelled.
See, if it was just this bit, I'd say this is more like the channel, but it's gone down and it's come sideways. It's gone down to this side again and gone sideways. So it's used up all of that section of the channel. So for me, that's a nice channel. Push down to this side of the channel, gone sideways to this side. Push down right to this side, gone sideways to this side. Break. I still think we're going to make a new low. It just might. It might have to be a lower high. Mind you, I kind of like it if it pushes up before it comes down because it gives us a bigger distance then to make some profit. The trouble is when the ATR is low and it breaks to here and you haven't got much to go to make some money. Let's have a look. Actually, may have already broken. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't know. I'm not convinced. No, I like that. I still do. I still like that. Resistance now. There is some here, isn't there? So... This looks good to me. Straight down across, straight down across. It looks like a channel to me. If you wanted to be fussy, you could bring this over here, but the back end wouldn't fit nowhere near. And you, so look, let's get it right to that top. Let's bring that. Yeah, see. sure it really matters now anyway. Just wondering if I could see any type of a couple of legs up. I don't think I can. It's more like a channel. Okay, so maybe this is slightly different. Let's do that then. Yeah, it's not the most cleanest of charts, that is it? If you leave it like that, it's technically made a... See, I did this the other day. I took a short, and it had already actually made a new low buy tick. Let's have a look. I don't know, maybe it's just like that. It does look like a channel to me. Let's leave it there. It does look like a channel to me. Yeah, well, it ain't coming back here anymore, is it? And there is a failed second entry short there, but I wouldn't have taken that anyway. It's just too far from the EMA, and it's also buttoned up against the bottom of this channel, so I wouldn't be surprised if that would have struggled a bit there. See, so it's not an ideal place that I'd like to go along anyway. So okay, oh, I think it's fair to say let's do that like that. I don't think it really matters anyway. Okay. That's gone up there strongly then, so maybe that's just a couple of legs, was it? No. Well, we did have this strong push, didn't we? And we had some sideways, a little bit of a break. So maybe we're going to bounce, come down here, and then go off, something like that. Could end up going something like that, couldn't it? Let's have a look. Could do. So perhaps it is. Maybe it is 2 legs. Who knows? That's true. The same size channel. That has to go there, actually. I mean, this is just I don't know, a guesstimate, if you like, where it may go. Let's get rid of it for now. ATR is really low again. It's so gut-wrenching when you hesitate. A clear trade entry. Yeah, it is. The trouble is, if you hesitate, it's usually for a reason, isn't it? If someone doesn't... Oh, excuse me. Someone doesn't feel quite right. Sometimes you best hesitate and miss a trade rather than jump in there and take something that you later regret. You know what I mean? You sold here, have you? Yeah. That's pushed up really strongly. I know it may come down to here a bit. I'm not so sure though. You may get stopped out there, mate, if you've taken that. Or it may be a higher low, lower high, sorry, so you may be right. Back to the EMA, but we have had this overshoot. Sometimes you can get the same the other side and then push up we did yesterday, or sometimes you can get that, push up a little bit and then drop and then come down. Yeah, I just couldn't take anything there. You may have taken that higher low. Trouble is, after this, I wasn't sure that it wasn't going to have a second entry and then second entry short and come down. Yeah, so if you took that short, I'd say you're going to get stopped out now. It wouldn't go all the way up there if it wasn't going to take that out, I think. Just wondering. Just wondering. Sort of looks a bit of a range, doesn't it? I'm not convinced it is, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because look where it's dropping. Right on that midline. Here goes your stop in a second. You're still in it. Maybe a few in there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's just risky, isn't it? There are times where I've taken them. I don't know, because it's sort of in the middle of nowhere. It's right in the middle of all that congestion, is it? So it could come down or it could go up. Not saying it won't come down, but usually if there's a chance of a trap, that it almost always, unless it's a really, in a really strong direction or a really strong trade, quite often just takes you out, and it's frustrating. See, if I was going to take a short, this would be the area I was going to take it, that I would take it, because of all this. It's all, apart from that one, we had a breakout, but I mean, if you had a really nice bearish bar that sat under there, then I don't know, but I try not to pick tops at the moment unless I'm very confident. I mean, if that had quite a big stem on it and that was red after we've had sort of similar here, and I thought that the market was maybe a bit bearish, and I probably would take it if it was a small enough risk. But I'm sort of bullish at the moment. I think after we've had this and this correction, I think we're likely to go higher. Now, this is only a think, but it's enough to keep me out of a short trade. Slow again, isn't it? It's making my eyes go a bit funny, actually. Oh, down we come. Just wonder if there was some buyers there thinking that they'll push above there or may get higher. Because as soon as it broke below that one, it had a quick drop, didn't it? So if you're going to go long there, I think your natural place to put your stop is here, and as soon as it ticked below there, And then a bit of a plop, drop. So are we coming down now? I've got no idea. We certainly are at the moment. Yeah, see, I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up doing something like that. Excuse me. Let's get rid of it for now. Oh, we're going to go up. Just giving that a little bit of space to make a new low and sit on there to go up. I don't know, this is just a guess. I'm certainly thinking bullish at the moment after this. Right below 4077. Where we go then? I don't even know where 4077 is. Where is it? We see it. I don't know what's going on at the moment. From what I can see, anyway, I'm certainly, if I had to pick, it's certainly bullish for me at the moment. But who knows? We've had a break at this. What I'd like to see is a push down, make a new low, and then push up and sit on there, and then push higher. Because if it did do that, it'd make me look really good. I don't know what I'm doing. Ooh, excuse me. Next target, top side. Oh, 409395. 409395 up here somewhere. Yeah, I'm with you. Actually, I think it's going up this way. Whether it'll do it now or not, I don't know. I would have liked it to make a break and a new low, which is why I gave that a little bit more space, and it fitted better there. So whether we are going to do this, who knows? But I did pull that down, so as we had a break, I just would have liked it to tick below there. But I can put that back where it is. Something like that. God, apologise, I can't stop yawning today. I didn't sleep very well last night. Trouble is with me, when I get into something like trading and stuff like that, I get a little bit obsessive, and every time I wake up, I'm looking at charts or what he's done or what he's done or something like that. I'll start leaving my phone downstairs, I think. Ever since I started trading, I don't know, I've had a decent night's sleep straight through. It can take hold of you, can't it, a little bit? I think really, to get successful, you've got to be a little bit obsessive, and you've got to, you know, really throw yourself into it and commit. Otherwise, it takes you years and years. Otherwise, I think. Let's get something of different colour. It's messing with my head a bit, that. Gold. Let's check gold out. Yeah, that's not too bad. Ah, that's a bit better. Struggling to see sometimes with that purple, and it just messes with your eyes a bit. Rooting for you. Thank you, mate. Come on, leader. Don't give me pressure like that, mate. We're all in this Titanic together, I think, aren't we? We've all got a bucket, and we're constantly trying to bail ourselves out, I think. 1 point away. 1 point away from where? What are you on about? Oh, from the top. Have you took a trade, have you? It's right there. What have you done? What am I missing? Oh, the top. Took a trade. See, I'll be pleased if we go up to the top here, because then that'll be right. Oh, you're out, are you? Where did you go? Here somewhere. Yeah, you wouldn't have gone down here. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have suffered all that, would you, to go back up? Did you go here? Did you? Something like that. Yeah. I don't know what to do at the moment. I really don't. I just put that there just out of interest to see if it does, but so I probably shouldn't actually. I do it just out of interest to see if I'm thinking along the same lines as everybody else. The trouble is, when you see that, it can affect your trading a bit, can't you, I think? Yeah, see, I think that's going to trap some traders. Have a look. Yeah, as much as I think we're going up, I certainly wouldn't want to take a long there. If we had a second entry down to here, then I may. Well, I suppose technically it's already a second entry, isn't it? I don't know. Trouble is, we had this, you'd expect to make a break and a new low, didn't you? And we didn't, although we made a matching low. So it could just, this could just come down, couldn't it? But it could be something like that, which then would give my, it would sort of validate my the channel idea, but it's just a bit too early there, because all we've had is a push up, push down, and a push up. It's too early to start making decisions based on that. I think that's too risky myself, because it's a push up, bearish bar. It's a bit too far from the EMA. I mean, if it triggered, it could push up and come down and give you a second entry short and then trap you. So I don't know. Well, I know it's been punishingly slow, isn't it, the last couple of days? It's been holding on more than a year, it has, hasn't it? I'm not sure why. There's no news or anything, is there? There's nothing that may slow it down. Well, I suppose, what are we doing up here? Are we pushing higher? Are we coming back down? Which Might be why. I mean, if we're not doing, we haven't traded it, have we? So if we're not doing it, probably a lot of others. We're sitting waiting. Obviously, if we're not buying or selling, the market isn't moving. So see what I mean about that. Triggered. I prefer to be closer to the EMA, so this may. Sold short again. Ooh, I don't think it's ready to go short myself. Sold short again. Oh, you're right. Every time it's come up, it's come right to here, hasn't it? And we've had this short-term trend channel. Let's see if this turns into a second entry long. See, that is a lower high, which is closed below. Let's see if it triggers. Trouble is, if it does trigger and it only closes here, I would prefer to take it above here, but then it doesn't give us much distance. If it does trigger below, and it finishes bullish, it's a second entry long. But if that ticks up then and comes down, I've been caught in a trap, so I'd prefer it to break above here. Then that takes out any thoughts of a trap then, see, but I haven't got much distance to the upside, although from what I can see, I'd say we're likely to come up here. Yeah, I mean, the gorilla. See, sometimes I've jumped in a trade. I mean, I took a trade yesterday. It was triple test, and there was quite a big. It was quite a big pin bar, something like that. And although it was a big bar, it looked like a nice triple test to me. And for me, it was going up, but it was a slightly big bar. And so what I did is I waited for it to come down again, and I took it, but I took it on a limit order, and I just risked a point. And unfortunately, I only waited for a point just to get me 1-to-1, but it did shoot up. Now I was relatively convinced it was going up, but the trouble, because I'm still a relatively inexperienced trader, I doubt myself sometimes. So yeah, but I know that gorilla guy, he'll see this, maybe have two legs down and bounce off here, and he may jump in. Might not be a good signal bar, but he'll jump in down here and have a small risk, because he might lose a point or two or three times, but then he'll make 8 or 10 points to the top. So as long as you can take the possible extra losses because of the slightly riskier trades, but if they do work, they more than pay for your losses. So it depends how risk averse you are, really. You're buying an eval next sale, are you? If you've blown one, mate, there's 50% off. See, I'd give you one of mine, but because I blew two PAs and you get a 50% off, but I don't know whether it'd work. I mean, you're welcome to try it if you want, because I got 2 of them. I may use one, but that code's going to be used in a week. The good thing about blowing a PA account is you get an 80% off. So if I've got about 5 days left on them, 5 or 6 days. I was going to use one of them maybe in about 4 days, but if we don't have a good deal, you're welcome to have one of those if you want, bud. Whether it's specific to my account, I don't know. I've not tried it before, but you know, if you want it, just drop me a message and you can have a crack at it if you like. Okay, what are we doing? Post the result. Are we coming down here? See, I'm not convinced we are. I think this may trap a few, I do. But what do I know? For me, this market's got bullish written all over it at the moment. Can Apex not pay out if you blow too many PA accounts? Doesn't matter, mate. You can blow as many as you like. I dare say there's people who've blown 2 or 3, and I dare say there's people who've blown 20, 30. It doesn't matter. No, I don't think it matters, Sam. I've never heard of them not. I've heard them not pay out once. And the story was two guys traded $300,000 accounts. They got to a PA level. They traded on the news. One went long, one went short. One of them hit $30,000 winning, and then I believe then he went on to a 1 micro a day for the remaining 24 days. It was when you had to trade 25 days, and they refused him. I mean, he's obviously trying to manipulate the market there. So I don't know how he'd have the nuts to do that. Trade his max contracts, make $30,000, and then trade 1 micro a day. I think that's personally asking for trouble, but I believe they're refusing. But I've never heard of anybody else being refused. I've got 100% confidence in them. Okay, so let's see if this goes higher, which I think it will, and it's going to take out some longs there. So if we can get a higher low, I'm in that, because I think if we're going to do this again, I think we're going to do what we did here and have a good strong push up. So there's a lower high there. This one didn't break above creating the failure, but still a very bearish bar. So whether anybody would have taken that, I don't know. But and that's a failure. I'm still thinking long at the moment. I am. Apex keep paying out. They love people who blow accounts. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Apex have. Well, I suppose if it's a PA account, yeah. But I think they're pretty fair, because I thought when I first started with Apex, I thought it's all about blowing accounts. But then I hear, if you think about it, let's say, for instance, you've got a guy and he's blowing, say, 10 evaluations a month, okay, and he's paying, I don't know, $33. So he's $300. Let's say $500 for argument's sake. If you've got a guy who's making sort of $20,000 a month in his accounts, he's paying 10%, so they're making $2,000 a month. So they're going to make way more individual by individual from someone who's failing accounts from someone who makes money. Because if he's making money and he's successful at it, it's only a matter of time before he scales up, and they're going to make a lot of money. So I have heard traders that make a lot of money in Apex, seem over the moon with it. So, I think, yeah, they make money out of the people who fail, absolutely. But they certainly make money out of the people who do well as well. So I'm confident that. I wasn't at one point, but I am now. It's doing exactly the same as it did earlier. Real slow grind, and then a quick pop above there. Was it there? Yeah. I think it's going to do the same. I'd say, I don't know if there'll be shorts in there, but they may have taken that lower high that's closed below the EMA, but they may have taken profits in it. But to me, it's definitely bullish. See if we can get a higher low, then I might, and it's a small enough risk, then I don't mind having a go at that. I mean, the ATR's 2 at the moment, so if it's a small bar and a small risk, I don't mind even just to run it up. Will it pop? Who knows? The trouble is that there may have been somebody taking that or that, but because it's moving, you don't know whether anybody's going to jump out here, do you? I think if these institutional guys go in, I think they tend to just let them run, don't they? Obviously, they tend to believe in the contracts, and it's only the likes of us who may take stuff like this. And our sort of bank balances aren't going to weigh the market that much. I don't think. That I thought they would, and it did. It had a quick point pop, point or two pop. Okay, so that's triggered below here. This looks like a couple of legs down. Let's have a look. Okay, so look at that. Try to go high once, try to go high twice. Failure, so it's triggered below. So if it pushed, if that was bullish and it pushed above there, that may take out any possible failures, and that would stop you getting trapped. But that's a doge, isn't it, really? And unfortunately, I think we may have another push up to here, but it's not really going to give us an entry. I mean, you could, I suppose, randomly jump in and drop it here, but it's a naff bar, isn't it? It's not the greatest of setups, even if it was bullish, but if it came down a limit order, you could probably jump in here and have like a 1 point risk and then maybe see what happens. Depends. Some people will follow the rules 100%. Other people might think, well, no, I'm pretty sure it's going up. And if it comes down on a limit order, I don't mind risking a point. Because if it does, if it does push up, that one I did yesterday, the triple test, I risked a point, but I was pretty sure what was going on, and it went up about 8 points. So sometimes, as you get more experience, you'll notice these things, and you'll make your own judgments on whether you think something may be worth a bit of risk. So it could be coming down. No idea. Angela, that's market is terribly dull for me this morning. Going to try this afternoon as a market. Yeah, you might be right. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for hooking up, Angela. The more the merrier. It's nice to get some of the ladies in. It seems to be predominantly males, doesn't it? But I personally think, just between me and you, that I think ladies are a little bit calmer. I think they probably make better traders. We're a bit too hot-headed guys. We think we can bully the market, whereas the ladies, I think, are a little bit smarter. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good afternoon. Let me know how you've done. Let me know how you've done. A lot of people don't know how to play balanced markets. They are just waiting for breakouts, but 80% of the time the markets are balanced. Yeah. Always my pleasure. Thank you. Only mate. Well, that's okay. It's green, isn't it? $133. That's green. That's what counts. And if you are going to go in a bit later, then hopefully you'll make some more. But that's okay. It's $133 more than I've done today, so good for you. Good for you. That'll pay for a haircut, won't it? That's what my wife pays about that, I think. Well, pounds wise, around about £100 a haircut. Good grief, unbelievable. £13 I pay, and it takes about 3 minutes. Oh God, it's going slow, isn't it? But it is for me going slowly upwards. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Okay, so high or low. Just wondering. Try go once, try go twice, failed. So whether you took that failure, you triggered, aren't you? If you had taken that failure, you may have done. You may have thought 1 leg, 2 legs, so you may be in that trade. Oh, hello. Okay, 1 leg, 2 leg. So, interesting. I wasn't expecting that. 1 leg, 2 leg. See what happens there. It's better than red. It absolutely is. 2 accounts. Oh, yeah. I got you. Oh, yeah, of course, absolutely. It's doubled up, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of having multiple accounts, isn't it? Absolutely. You've only got to trade once, so you've only got to see that small figure, and you don't really need to register that it's you know, topping up other accounts. So yeah, it's a good psychological body swerve, that, if you like, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Building up some stream for breakup down. I think more long. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm Will You Bill at the moment. Yeah, I'm thinking long at the moment. Purely, I think, because of that. If we'd have started here, then but I don't know. Sometimes it'll do this, then go sideways, and then push up, or sometimes it'll do that and just go sideways or come down. It's just hard to tell what it's going to do at the moment. But if I had to pick, it would be bullish at the moment. We shall see. Let's see what happens here. One leg, two leg. My daily's goal is $300 times 2. Nice goal, that is, actually. It's about $1,500 a week, isn't it? $6,000 a month. Yeah, if you times that 2, yeah, nice. $12,000 a month. Wow, you times that by 10, Angela. $300 a day, $1,500. That's $6,000 per account. You times that by 10, that's $60,000 a month. So the potential for earning big amounts of money is there. And if you can do that, it's just a matter of scaling up. There's, you know, what you can earn really is limitless. And I think that's part of the problem. It doesn't take long to work out what you could earn. And I think sometimes you're blinded by the, you know, the thoughts of bigger house, nicer car, more holidays, aren't you? You know, bigger bank balance. And then sometimes, yeah, that's my husband. Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, your husband does it as well, doesn't he? Yeah. I think that would be a plus, I do. Because you can help each other. I think that's a good idea, actually. I think you're onto a winner there. Who started first, incidentally? Was it you or your husband? But yeah, I think it's a good idea, actually, because you can support each other. It's 2 heads better than 1, isn't it? So I think it's a good idea, I do. So yeah, good for you. Good for you. And it's nice that you got something in common as well, doesn't it? This bores the hell out of my wife. Sometimes I talk to her about trading, and you know, when I come down at sort of in the evening time, and I can see her shaking her head, and she hasn't got a clue what I'm saying. But it doesn't stop me rabbiting on. You know what I'm like? Oh, he did he? I got you. Oh, I see. I got you. Ah, is he really? Let me have a look. Where are you, DJ? He's quiet, isn't he? Where is he? Where are you, DJ? You're up here somewhere, or has he already gone? Has he made his money and gone, has he? Or have you both made the same money? I suppose you take the boat. I suppose you may take the same trades, might you? Where are you, DJ? He's hiding. He's up here somewhere. Ah, that's interesting. We see things a bit differently. Okay. And say something. Yeah, it's having 2 heads that better than 1. That's a good idea. That is. Imagine you both doing it and having the same interest. But I'd say that's pretty rare, because I'd say it seems to be oh, I see. Here he is up here. Yeah, I'd say it's predominantly male, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's a benefit. I think that's an absolute plus for you both. Oh, good for you. Good for you. You'll have to let me know tomorrow how you did this afternoon. Yeah, it's definitely a plus. That's a good idea. That is. Perhaps I need to get divorced and find someone who's got the same interest as me. No, this just bores the hell out of my wife. She's got no interest whatsoever. None whatsoever, which is frustrating, isn't it? Because when you get into trading, you do want to talk about it, don't you? You talk about your day, what you saw, what you learned, what happened. It's like coming back from, you know, the front line, isn't it? You want to tell people, you know, how you suffered. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. I think this is going to be a slow day. I think you got the right idea, Angela. Coming back a bit later. I try and not do that now. See, you've got your guy, haven't you? You can sort of support each other. But I found, I would say 95% of the accounts I've blown have when I've come back and traded after the stream. So there's been a few people over the last 4 months that have been skeptical whether this stream helps me or not. I'm 100% certain it does, because I've only blown one account live on stream. Everything else I've done out of hours. Last 2 afternoons have been better. Excellent. Last bit of daily goal, always the most difficult. Yeah, do you know what? I like it when you get a trade nice and early. Do it. It just makes the day so much better, doesn't it? Because you don't have to trade then, do you? And what I tend to do, I can only remember on 2 occasions where I had a first green trend and I had I finished on the red, in the red. So I kind of like to get a trade early, but it takes the edge off it. Then you can relax a little bit, can't you? And just I won't say enjoy the markets, but you can just watch and see what happens, and you can wait for. There's no pressure, is there? You can just wait for a good setup. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Nice to see more ladies trading, definitely. Putting us guys to shame for sure. Talking about my wife, she's just pulled up, I think. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, I may get a cup of tea. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I wish my wife would listen. She pretends to, but then I throw something in there that she's not expecting and she just keeps nodding. I try and catch her off guard. I said to her a couple of days ago, I went, "You're not listening to a word I'm saying." She went, "Yeah." I said, "What did I say then?" She went, so she doesn't. She doesn't. I can't blame her. If you're not interested in trading, it must be the most boring thing to listen to, I've got to say. Why don't you move? Oh. God, this is getting boring, isn't it? What time is it? I'm going now 40 minutes. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to love you and leave you all just for 5 minutes. I'm just going to quickly say hello to my wife and have a quick cup of tea, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back armed with a cup of tea. Yorkshire tea. Right, okay. So definitely slow, isn't it? No argument there. Slow. I don't know what's going on at the moment. There's not actually a lot of volume at all. It is there. Very small volume. I can't for the life of me. How long have I been going? Market's been open nearly 2 hours. It's very little volume. Market open here, so literally we've had this in 2 hours nearly. Unbelievable that. I don't quite know why. Yeah, market opened here. So that is it. That is all the volume we've had since the market's officially opened. Strange that is. I don't know why. Just wondering whether there'll be any finishing early for Easter. I wouldn't have thought so. Let me have a look. Easter is when's Easter? Hold on. Easter isn't this weekend, is it? Surely. Lance, do you know if there is a free trade copy? There isn't a seam, unfortunately. But what I will say to you is I've got a copy of Replicanto coming. Now, I believe they do a trial for, is it a week or two? So if you were going to ask me honestly, which would I go for, Replicanto or Apex? Apex to Replicanto. Sorry. How much of that have you missed? Okay. Okay, let's start again. Somebody asked me. Have a look. Who asked me? I've got the Replicanto one. Okay, yeah, the Replicanto. Let me. Sorry, Replicanto. Anyway, it's $149. I can get you 10% off that if you want. And if you use the code, so let's type that. I typed it rather than just say it. So it's just UK Futures Trader, UKFT, and 10. So all of it. Sorry. Yeah, someone asked about the trade copier. There's no free trade copier. You've got to pay for them all. They're both, Apex's is $150, and the Replicanto for a lifetime license is $149. So they're both $149, but Apex don't support it, and they've told me they don't support it, which I think is a bit frustrating. If you sell something, you should do, but they don't support it, whereas Replicanto do, and Replicanto update it as well. And they are a software firm, so but yeah, they're giving me a copy because I said I was a bit fed up with the Apex's one, and they've given me a discount for any of you lot want to use it. So it's UKFT, UK Futures Traded 10, and you'll get 10% off. That'll save you 15. You out? How much the Apex? Yeah, they're both $149, $149. So they're both the same. But my honest opinion is, well, I'm moving to Replicanto. I'm a bit fed up with the Apex one, the fact that they don't support it. And when I've emailed them, they've said they don't support it, which is a bit frustrating. But you know, some people get on with it, okay. But I find it stressful anyway using it. So for me, just updated today. Yeah, I've never known anybody that says Apex updates, but I have said that Replicanto does. So if you're going to pay exactly the same, in fact, you'll save $15. But even if you didn't save that, personally, I would, from what I've heard, Replicanto one is probably the absolutely. So UKFT will get you 10% off. So it's there if you require it. So, okay. But yeah, there's no free ones, unfortunately. But they do a little bit, not so much fiddly to use, but there are sometimes it is possible for trades not to trigger or accounts not to trigger, depending on if the market is really moving quick. So you just need to be aware how to shut other accounts down or other possible contracts down just in case. But yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, bud. God, this is so slow, isn't it? Look at this. Just see, that's it. There's over 2 hours of trading there. From there. Oh. Yeah, from there. 2 hours, that is. Unbelievable, isn't it? 2 hours. Unbelievable. Can you trade both personal and Apex accounts simultaneously? Yes, you can. And I know you can because I watched, when I was thinking about the Replicanto, I watched the Canadian futures trader. He uses it, and he was showing us the setup, and he had his own account marked out. So yes, you can. You can trade your own personal account plus Apexes or you profits or wherever you choose to use. Yeah, you can. But just the fact that it's supported and updated is a big enough seller for me, really. To be honest with you, I'd let you have my Apex one, but they don't let you pass it on. I'd happily let you have it. But yeah, for some reason, they don't let you pass it on. I did say when I messaged them when I had problems with it, can I, sell it to someone else who will use it or something? They said, no, it's just a one person only. So you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. You're welcome. 2 machine license. I think it costs you an extra $50, I believe. So yeah, DJ, if you're trading with your wife, you're probably going to want on 2 machines. So I'm pretty sure it's $200, so it's an extra $50. But that code I gave you will get you 10% off, so it'll cost you $120 for 2 machines. But that's for a lifetime. So I'm assuming you're using 2 separate machines. I don't know whether you. I don't think you can put Apex on 2 copies of one machine of niche trade. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just rambling on a bit now. But God, it's slow, isn't it? Yeah. Just wondering. I don't think. It's possible, but I think it's more sideways than down, isn't it, at the moment? Stopped at my entry price. Did you run off here, did you? Paint dry, eh? So slow. I don't know what's caused it. What was I going to say? Does anybody know when the Easter weekend is? It's not this weekend, is it? I think it's next. I've got the CME Group holiday dates. Good Friday. No, it's the 6th of April. Let's say if it was this weekend, I thought some trades might finish it early. No, it's the 6th to the 10th. So I don't know. Trade now is going to be there. Can't remember what happened last year. I'm not sure what's going on here. It almost looks like, but I mean, we're clearly ranging at the moment, so looks like a couple of legs that. But, touch. Fact. That is probably about there. Touch, touch, touch. So we've got 1 leg down, 2 legs down. 1 leg, 2 legs. Yeah, that's good enough for me. 1 leg, 2 leg. Maybe same again. That would take us to the bottom here. Interesting. In fact, I'm going to move that up to there. And funnily enough, look where that takes you to, right there. I'm happy that nothing's closed here. Interesting. Still not confident for me to go long off, I don't think, unless it bounces a few times. Because, no, I don't know. See what happens. Hey, Scruffy, I didn't see you there, bud. How are you? Douglas Hill. This is Sunday, Palm Sunday next Sunday. Yeah. I've just looked on I got a printout from the CME Group of the holidays. I'd forgotten I got it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so it's usually, doesn't it usually finish early on a Friday, isn't it? 1 o'clock or something? Eastern Standard Time, I think. Trouble is, I don't think Apex count it as a trading day, do they? I'm not sure. What we said there. You can trade both personal and Apex on Ninja Trade at one time. Yeah, you can. Using Trade Continuum. Yeah, I know. I saw a video. I think it was the day before yesterday. The Canadian futures trader, and he was showing a video on Replicanto, how to install it and how to use it. And he said he had his personal account there, which he got covered up at the time. The Apex Trade Copy only lets you trade Apex account. Okay, so it's got its bonuses, isn't it? So yeah, I suppose it's worth it. I'm moving on to it anyway. I don't think it can be worse than Apex is, put it that way. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I hear a lot of people say they never have a problem with it. I don't know. I seem to for some reason. I don't know why, but some people I know, Wilson does. V. Wilson. I asked him, and he said he trades 20 accounts on it, so it seems to work okay for him. So I don't know whether I don't know what it is. I've got a high spec computer, got a pretty quick internet. It's hardwired, so I don't know whether that would make a difference. I don't know. But it's not problematic all the time. I think what frustrated me the other day is I took a trade on it. I had two P accounts, and I'd lost a trade, which was frustrating. So I was down $500, and I took another trade, and then won $700. So I was over the moon. But then I noticed one of them hadn't triggered. So I was just like, oh my god! I lost 500, made 700. So you think happy days, but only one of them triggered. So I was really angry. And I know it can happen sometimes, but I don't see why. All right, it maybe then trigger it at the next. I believe, from what I was watching, the Canadian futures trader, it'll if one doesn't trade and one does, it'll take it at the next tick or something like that, at the next available price, which is the tick. I don't know. Something I have to look into, but. And the main bit I don't like is if one triggered and another one didn't, and I was going short and I was bringing my stop down to secure profits, and it hit my stop. It happened a few weeks ago. It hit my stop, and one of them hadn't triggered. It then created that into a buy order. So as the market kept coming down, it was a buy order. So I ended up about $250 in the red on 3 accounts. So it was frustrating. Let's trade. It's finicky. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. You know, when you're using your hard-earned money and you're building up these accounts, you want something that's at least updated, because you know there's always going to be problems with things. I mean, if you look at Apple, you know, one of the biggest companies in the world, you get regular updates because you know nothing's perfect, and it's striving, isn't it, to give people at the best product. I mean, if they charge $50 for it, then you'd understand maybe it, you know, might not be quite as good as something 3 times the price. But the Replicanto one is the same price and it's supported. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating. God, this is slow, isn't it? I don't think the market was a bit slow yesterday afternoon, but I don't think I've seen it this slow for a while. But I suppose more of the institutional guys will be chucking an order in at the start of the day and hopefully riding up, won't they? So they might not be as involved in this type of stuff, maybe, or maybe wait for that to play out and then drop something there and try and, you know, Okay, let's see if we can get down the bottom here. One leg, two legs. Come on. I'm not sure whether I've got to uninstall the Apex trade copier first. I wouldn't have thought so, because you go into tools, don't you, and you specifically open the trade copy. So I'm not sure whether I need to uninstall the Apex one first. I might have to look into that. I don't really want to message Apex and saying, how do I get rid of yours so I can use Replicatos? Long stops all the way to 405. Very slow. Yeah. Yes, I suppose institutional guys will maybe jump in here or something. Thinking that it might do this, that, and then that. Because this really is it's sort of a bull flag, isn't it? So, you know, I have been thinking that it's quite possible we're going to push out to the top side here. I don't know. Okay. Second entry short, possible, way too far from the MA. What trading strategy am I using? I'm using Max price action trading system. So it's a scalping system where we go for trades like second entry longs, second entry short failures, lower highs, high lows, triple tests, that sort of thing. But I think the majority of us use that one, and it is available to join priceactiontradingsystem.com, and it's $125 for a year. So that's what we trade. And he does put his video out on YouTube 4 days a week for the last 12 years. So if you wanted to have a look, just jump onto his YouTube channel, Pat's, P-A-T-S, Price Action Trading System on YouTube, and you can see him doing his daily chart update. Okay, let me have a look at this here. Okay, I'm expecting two legs down, certainly to the bottom of here, quite lightly. Now there's a short-term trend channel with a break, one leg, two legs. What's the ATR? ATR is quite low, so it may be a couple of points or something. So we've had this short-term trend channel. We've had a break, expecting a new low. Not only we've had a break, we've had two pushes up. So let's see if this pushes up a bit and retest under this line and ends up bearish, in which case I may try and take a couple of points. Short-term trend channel break. New low I'm expecting. One leg, two leg. Certainly looking a little bit bearish at the moment, so I'm quite happy to go short. There's a big area down here of support, and same again sort of here. So I am there's nothing around here really, so I am expecting it, if it does push down, then to sort of get to these lows. Let me just open
Order submitted.
just in case. So it's a second entry short. If it does work, plus to me it looks like two pushes up. That's not what I wanted. If it finishes bearish below this, I will take that because it's sort of retesting the underside of this. It's actually a failure, and it's a second entry short, and it's retesting the underside of that what's it area, so I like it if it finishes bearish. How you doing, Toad? Unfortunately, because the market's moving so slow, I'm going to have to sit through it for probably 10 minutes of agony. Okay, I like this. I like this. Nice. Stop.
Order
Okay,
filled.
like that. That's worth a risk, I think. Let's put this down here somewhere. Let's see what happens. It's certainly moving down at the moment. It's a second entry short, nice and bearish, right at the key entry point. I like the way it's retested the bottom of this little bit of a range as well, so I think it's okay for me. Short-term trend channel break. 1, 2 pushes up. It's a failure, and it's a second entry short. It's a total of a 2.25 risk, so I like the risk. I'm happy with the risk. There's a lot of support down here, so I think this is likely where it's going to go. Oh, hopefully that will attack the bottom. Let's just get this ready. Go on.
Target filled.
Spot on. Okay, that was, I think, an obvious area. So, yeah, that was a nice trade there. See, the nice ones, the good trades will really go, but I identify this area where it's like gone to, and it's just pushed straight through that measured leg, boom, quickly, and then pop back up, and it's 2 legs down. That is, see. Is this an area to go long here? Ooh. I'm leaving it at the moment. Sometimes you see something like this, and when you just had a win, you can get a little bit too overconfident. I've done it before, and I've jumped in, and I've ended up losing me profit. So it's a nice $400. So that's a good day's work. That so it's worth sitting through all that. So if you've got the patience, sometimes then something will just present themselves. We had this short-term trend channel. We had a break. Not only we had a break, we had 1 push up, 2 push up. Perfect, beautiful second entry short. Lovely big bearish buy. I love the way it tested the bottom side of this as well. That's always going to throw it in that direction. And from here, try to go once, try to go twice, and it was a failure as well. So I think it was win-win that. And usually by the speed they come down at, there's I'm not the only one who thought that was worth a crack as well. So so that's good. So nice start to the day, and I don't mind. I'm quite happy. Thanks, guys. Nice when it works, isn't it? But yeah, sometimes it's just worth waiting. How long we've been sat here for? 2 hours and 25 minutes just to get one trade. But look at that, beautiful, $400 there. So if you had 10 accounts, you'd have just put $4,000 into your account in one trade. So the potential is there, and sometimes that can make you do stupid things. So yeah, that was a nice trade. That was. I was hoping it would finish bearish. I'm quite glad it went a bit further and didn't just come down here, because the further it goes up, the further it's got to come down then, see. So obviously, you know, that area from there to there is your profit, isn't it? And the further it goes up before it reverses, that, you know, so there you go. Cheers, guys. Thank you. It's nice when you've got the patience to sit through all this, isn't it? And because it's certainly tough, isn't it? It's a lot of sideways. But then, you know, sometimes just when you're not expecting it, something pops up. So this is when I need to be just extra cautious now. But I'm quite happy not taking anything else now for the rest of the day. I'm only trading for a maximum of 3 hours now, so we've only got 30 minutes anyway, so. Oh, excuse me, let's have a look. Yeah, nice. So there's a bigger measured leg, and getting a bit confused in this. So yeah, there's a leg from here to here. There and there. So these measured legs really do identify areas, don't they? So what do we take out of that? $400. That's 4 points. 4 points. Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. That's where I like to be. Anywhere around. If I can get above $300 for a trade, it's a little bit over 1-to-1. That is. But at the moment, that's sort of 2-to-1, the ATR. Well, a little bit under 2-to-1, because you've got to take into consideration your take profit, which is a tick below, and obviously your stop, which is a tick above. So, and it is a second entry short. So, second entry short. Plus 4 points. Let's leave that there. Happy days. Back in a range. Yeah, to be fair, I thought it was going to take about 10 minutes to get from there to there, so I'm quite happy it went down quick, because, in fact, brought that down because I like the way it's sitting on there. So, seems to be picking up a bit now, doesn't it? Better than trucking, it certainly blooming well is. What's that look like? I'm not going to draw that at the moment because it's bouncing off here, so I don't want to get into the frame of mind of thinking about going short at the moment, so because we're at the bottom. Patience pays. Yeah, it certainly does, Nick. That was a nice trade. That was lovely little trend there. Beautiful. Everything fits there. Beautiful. We come right to the left side of the channel. Push up. Come back. Push up. Beautiful bearish bar. I mean, that bar's about as good as they look. EMA's facing down, one leg, two legs. You think you'd at least come down, which is why I put it down here, because there's nothing here and there's nothing here. All the area is down here, so you'd think you'd at least target this low, and it did nicely, so I'm pleased with that. It's just unfortunate it's only 4 points. I mean, that on another day, if that had been 3, that would have been 6 points there, but I suppose it's a low risk as well, isn't it? So, used to drive Arctics too, did you? That's what I do weekends, just to get the cash coming in. And it's good money in the UK. You'd be talking, I mean, you're talking £20 an hour plus, which is sort of $24 plus an hour, and you can do all the hours you want. And the bit I like about it is you can pick and choose your jobs. When you get a setup like that, it makes me sick that I took anything less than quality. Trouble is, you never quite know what you're going to get. I might not have got that, see? And you took a trade. What did you take something down here, didn't you? I can't remember. But you got your points. And sometimes I get lovely trades like that, and sometimes I get scrappy trades where I get through by the skin of my teeth. But, you know, one thing I've learnt with trading, now let me give you an idea of the type of person I am. I'm an all or nothing person. I either want to do it perfect or I just mess it up. I have, you know, whereas I've had to learn trading to accept the fact that sometimes you're never going to get it right, because I get so angry and frustrated myself when I mess something up, which is why sometimes I'm almost self-sacrificing while I go in and trade out of hours. Frustrating, because it's like I'm almost punishing myself. But I've had to learn the fact that because it's a high-pressure job and the markets move quite quick, sometimes you are going to make human mistakes. You're going to come in at an area that looked okay 1 minute, something developed, you dropped your order in, something, you know, there was a bit of confusion. Is it right? You know, you look at something else. And I've had to accept the fact that sometimes I am going to make mistakes. And I, you know, it's not black and white trading. There's a lot of grey area. There is a lot of ifs and buts. Is this right? Is it not quite right? You know, they say you've got to be strict. How strict? Does every trade need to look perfect? You know, in other words, that's a bearish bar. How could I make that trade look more perfect? I would have the top of that, the top of the body there directly under that line if I wanted to make that perfect. But it's about as good as it gets, isn't it? So that's the trouble. How strict do you become? So you can take, you know, being strict to a whole new level, and it just gets a bit obsessive. And so I've had to accept the fact that there are some grey areas, and sometimes I just need to do my best, and I am going to make a mistake, and I just have to say, well, okay, it happens. I have to move on. But I found that quite hard to do. It is, yeah, exactly right, mate. It is. It's not easy, and you have to accept the fact that, you know, because it's quite a high pressure job and it's fast moving, you're making, that brain of yours is ticking over, making fast decisions, and sometimes you don't get into a trade literally there, you know, in the last second. That could go from being a great trade to being something that's going to continue up. So fast moving stuff, you know, where you've got to be constantly concentrate. Does that make sense? But yeah, sometimes it, you know, there's going to be some grey areas, and it's not all going to be champagne and roses, is it? You're going to make some cock up sometimes. It's a fact of life, isn't it? And I've had to learn that a bit, so I'm tending to try not to be too hard on myself. Okay, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to finish a bit early today. Weather's turned nice outside. Wife's just come in. Dinner's in the oven. I've got a nice amount. Market's going really slow anyway. So I think I'm going to have an early finish today, actually. I've been trading 2.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have an early finish today. Why not? Counts up looking nice. It's been a slow day, but profitable day. It's hard to think in probability instead of how our brains like to work. Absolutely, Toad. Yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, guys, that's it for today. So thank you, Nick. You're so kind. Trouble is, you're gonna make me have a big head, and I'm gonna make stupid mistakes there. But no. Yeah, why not finish early today? We got lighter nights now, so I'll be here tomorrow, normal time. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. Stay safe. Have a great evening, guys, and I will do this all over again tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll talk tomorrow.